if you go way back, I mean, who remembers life before Instagram? Like MySpace. MySpace was awesome. Your top six friends, that was good times, man. You put a song on their profile, you got that Hawthorne Heights, Ohio is for lovers on your profile or whatever, man. Hoping that girl would notice, oh, it's my favorite song too. And then, not that I did that. And then, you had, Zanga before that. Did anybody have a Zanga? I'm not telling you my username because you'll dig it up and see all my secrets from 2003, 2004. Xanga was an interesting time.
Noah's Comedy World.
Dude, you read my mind. Aaron, Aaron came back from the military. Were you in Kuwait? Was it? I can't remember, brother.
Yeah, Kuwait, and ran some missions up into southern Iraq some while we were there, so in that area.
When you got done running missions overseas with the army, you came back a completely different person. You were like on a whole new level, and he started this website called Noah's Comedy World, and it was awesome. I was in some of the videos, not all of them, but yeah, the internet has changed, and now it just feels like all kinds of information, and one person saying do this, while the other person says no, do this. And honestly, that's one reason I became a coach, because even in 2015, I was like, this is getting crazy. There's people saying you have to do this. You have to eat right after you work out in the anabolic workout window. You have to take an intra workout drink. You have to drink BCAAs. You have to lift in this rep range. There was all kinds of stuff. If you're not taking steroids, you have to lift this way. If you are taking steroids, you can lift this way. It's like, is this true? And I'm just gonna say this real quick, just to like drive a main point home. That at the end of the day, like things sometimes are true for one person because that fits their life. And sometimes it's not about, hey, what's the absolute best way to do something? It's about which way can I do something and not lose my mind? Which way can I do something and still be the man God has called me to be? So, but we'll get into that second. Has anybody got a win? They want to unmute themselves and share before we move on. I'd love to hear two or three good wins. And I know y'all got them.
I mean, I'm down another 1.3 pounds this week, so I'm feeling good.
Good, good, good. Yeah, David's been on a roll. You said you're the leanest you've been since what, like
August
2020,
of 24, yeah.
August of 2024. So, yeah, that's a good feeling when you're like,
Yeah.
when you can look and say, "Oh, it was that long ago since I was on that." And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean like he was slacking everybody, but when you go
I
through
mean,
a period of like in being intent, and we're talking about this in a minute too. I need to not diet a while, I need to get out of and recover and put on muscle and not be in a deficit. And so you'd have to spend time away from that sometimes. And that's why when you are in a cut, it's important to make it count. And he's making it count right now. So shout out to David for that. That's a cool win. Anybody else got one they want to share?
Yeah, dadgummit. Hold on.
What's up, Cody? Glad you're here, man.
Oh, am I not muted?
Oh, I thought you unmuted yourself to share a win, bro.
No, well, I'm trying to figure this out. I hate technology. No, I've hit the last 4 days consistently at the gym, either at the gym I go to when I'm not at work or at work, and I'm feeling really good. Getting
That's
past that just miserable soreness to okay, I I can get back on board with this.
That's that's the first step, dude. If you feel like I can do this, this is not unreasonable. This can fit my life. It can work right now. It puts a lot of wind in your sails, man. So I'm glad to hear that, dude. That's a good win. That's a good win.
Yeah.
Um, Anybody else? We got time to do one more. I know some of you shared a Wednesday win.
I'll just share. I had some good lifts today on legs. I was happy with some strength gains today in the gym doing some calf presses. I mean, it's a simple, easy movement, but I mean, I was able to load up 275, I think, on the um, leg press machine and do that, pretty, and it felt good. Like it wasn't even difficult. And then I pushed it a little bit with 25s on in each for on the barbell or on the dumbbell walking lunges, 25 in each hand, and um, so yeah, I even pushed it today, Doug, um, on the RDLs, which I feel like I don't know if you got my message, but I'm paying for it now. My back is spasming a little bit today, so but yeah, I definitely had some wins today, though. Anyway, despite the back spasms, but still,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. That's good wins. Anytime you see a lift going up and progressing, that's what you want to see. You know, I was going to shoot you a video about the back too because you know, if sometimes there's a time in our life where it makes sense to do a free weight squat just because it gives you more bang for your buck, and sometimes I think especially if it's acted up a little bit, it's good to avoid loading the spine. And I was gonna ask you about what your gym had. Have you got a hack squat at your gym?
yeah, yeah, I do. Is
I
that
think.
that's the machine that you can just have with the padded shoulder rest?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
I would say let's switch to that. That's just that, and this is good for anybody to hear. Know that foot placement is so critical on a hack squat, and it's not the same for any two people because, like, if I get, I learned competing in bodybuilding when I saw when I got the stage pictures back, it was like, holy crap, for the first time in my life, I noticed relative to the other dudes on stage, and we were all in the same height class. I was in class D, which was like the tallest class, the tall class. Like, my torso, even though we're all the same height, my torso was shorter and my legs were longer. And it hit me. I was like, that's no wonder. Like I knew I had long legs relative to my body, but I felt like I looked like a frog up there compared to the other guys. My legs were so long. It's like, well, no wonder I have trouble putting a bar on my back and squatting. But like if my feet are too high on a leg press, your lower back can still round. I mean, on a hack squat, not a leg press, your lower back can still round and you can still get back issues from a hack squat. But if you put your feet too far down, some guys are going to have knee issues. And I know you've done a lot of running before, you've gotten some miles on your legs. Sometimes if you've got had some knee issues, it's finding that right place like, hey, I can put my feet right in the middle. Um, and find the right width and things to where it's not too intense on my knees, but also my lower back isn't gonna like tuck under me because my feet are too high, if that makes sense. So
Right.
I'll send you what I think might work for you, like positioning wise. Um, and you can try it, send me a video and we'll check it out, man. Post it in the forum.
All right.
That's
Sounds
that's,
good.
that's what I love to do, man. I love figuring stuff like that out for people. Shout out to Jared, who's on this call. He's one of the guys that decided to do VIP with me for 12 weeks. We had our first call Monday. It was a great time. I did not anticipate him to start flexing on me like that. He was so jacked up to be on the call. No, just kidding. He didn't flex on me. But we had a good conversation. We talked about programming, his list specifically. Got into nutrition a little bit. He's gaining right now. So I enjoy doing the VIP. I do cap it, so I've got one spot left. Just if anybody's interested, just putting that out there. I want to give a shout out to all my 6 week challengers. They're finishing up the 6 week challenge this week, and I'm excited to see, what the final result is of that. Um, but I enjoy the 14-day challenges, but I do them because they're popular and it does spark something in people. But I'm really careful to like. And one reason I started doing 6 week challenges after is because it was like a low friction, easy way to be like, hey, this might be a good next step for you because we want to make sure that we're doing things sustainably. And there's a time I think to kind of go pedal to the metal for just 14 days and see a cool result, but then you want to level off and do things at a more like reasonable, consistent pace. And I don't want someone to like just do a 14-day challenge and try to keep that up because it's not going to work. But a shout out to those guys because I've seen some really cool results in there, including with Aaron. Today's verse for the call is Hebrews 12:1 and 2. Let me move this. I don't know if y'all can see the video screen like I can. But let us, and I underline this, throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance and race marked out for us. I think fixing our eyes on Jesus, don't leave that part out. But this is where people often, and occasionally you may see it, I get some like hate comments like, what does God or Jesus have to do with fitness? And it's like, what it has to do, man, is, the Bible, I believe, is God's holy word. I believe there's no contradictions. I believe it has all the answers in there. Obviously, some things there weren't words for it back then. But if you look at context, if you look at situations, you can apply anything in there to our life today. Likewise, I think you can, if the Bible is the best way, it's God's holy word, it is the truth. Why are we not applying things from the Bible into our own fitness journey? And that's what it's as simple as that for me. And here we're being reminded to throw off everything that hinders us. If it's slowing you down, get rid of it. Like, is it really worth it, man? Is it really worth it to hold on to that habit or, that you think is giving you this benefit that you think is helping you when really it might be just numbing you. It might be slowing you down. It might be making you less sensitive to what God wants you to see right now. And the same thing could happen in fitness. And so each of these 5 little tips um, that I have followed and frankly, like some of y'all and some of my best results I've seen while coaching have come from following these principles. All right, so the first thing, if it doesn't fit your current capacity, it's not for you. And this is such a hurdle to get people to understand sometimes. Because people reach out to me and be like, man, I want to lose 30 pounds, but I'm just not seeing the progress. Okay, what have you been doing? Well, the best, man. I'm following Chris Bumstead's workout. It's like, why are you following Chris Bumstead's workout that he uses to get on the Olympia stage for a specific purpose when you're not Chris Bumstead? You don't have the same goal as him. Or, I'll see a guy in the gym, he's got an arm day. He's doing like 3 different arm exercises. Ah, yeah, you building, trying to add mass right now? No, I'm cutting. Like, whoa, what? You got an arm day and you're cutting? Like, and there's things I see people do, and I'm like, that may not be a bad thing, but if it doesn't fit like your schedule, your capacity, your current ability to recover, and that notice I said current. I can't tell you how many people tell me, well, I know what to do. I just, I got really shredded in my 20s. I'm going to do that again. Honey, you're 40 and you got 3 kids. That ain't going to work for you right now. And I'm big on like not capping yourself as you get older. And that's coming up later, a slide on that. But like if you're trying to ignore though, that your body's going to recover differently in your 40s or whatever, even in your 30s, than when you were 18 or 20. You've got another thing coming for you. And yeah, it may work for a while, but that there's going to be a wall coming, whether that wall is injury or, something else. It's not going to work out the way you want. And I put this, start noticing all the times people brag about doing things that require more of them. For example, I pick on this all the time. Hard 75. Why would anybody do that? They're trying to prove something to themselves. It's insecurity talking, not logic or best practice. Because if you really cared about just getting a result, the result you want in your head, you wouldn't have to do hard 75 to get there. You wouldn't have to go to the gym 7 days a week. You wouldn't have to say, I'm going to do 30 working sets per week because I want to do more volume. That's just insecurity talking, man. And I say this all the time. If you go to Five Guys, which is already kind of expensive for what it is, even though I love it, and you got and they say, that'll be $16 for your combo or 18 or whatever it is. Would I hand them $40 and say, keep the change? Like, why pay more than you have to? If something costs $16, pay $16. And if your fitness goal requires X amount of work, don't do more than that. And spend time away from your family, spend time away from like passions and recovery and things, frankly, that's important for you. Um, just because this insecurity, because you want to get to your fitness goal and you're trying to overcome your shortcomings by doing more. Here's the number two one. And this is a controversial hot topic on social media, but science and just common sense doesn't care what people say otherwise. If you want a bigger chest, get a bigger bench press. It's that simple. If you want a bigger legs, get a bigger squat. If you want a bigger back, get a bigger barbell row. Do more pull-ups. It's not hard. We've tried to circus trick our way around things so much. And I put this over here in the box. Bigger muscle comes from bigger output over time. And so here's the thing. People say, but Doug, I feel cable flies better than bench press. I'm like, there's something to that. And maybe that means if you have a strong mind muscle connection with cable flies, we want to put that in there somewhere in your program. But you cannot overload your chest over time with cable flies the same way you can with a barbell bench press. Or I said, pick a main lift, progress it, earn the right to diversify later. Maybe it's incline barbell bench press. There's been times I do a 15% incline, so it's not a straight incline. So I can still go heavier, but it's not a flat if I'm trying to give my shoulders a break from flat, which, by the way, is a good thing to do sometimes, but not because bench press is quote unquote bad for your shoulders. But, do you buy a new car and never get the tires rotated, never get the oil changed? No. So sometimes we got to rotate the tires. Sometimes we get the oil changed. You don't do it every day. You don't do it every week. You know, what if you showed up to the tire place every week? It's like, I'm here to get my tires rotated. To be like, what are you doing? Like, see in a few months, man. Like, and that's what people look like when they change the routine every single week, trying to circus trick their way. And let me tell you, and I'll just say it, you've seen people that's gotten results, shocking the muscle, changing it up every week. They're on steroids, okay? And if you're on steroids, fine. But I'm just saying, as your coach, I'm going to assume that you are not on steroids, and I'm going to assume that you want to train efficiently and get the most out of your training naturally. And in doing that, we're going to do things a specific way because my preference isn't entertainment. You're not at the gym to entertain yourself and prevent from getting bored. You're at the gym to get results. And when you are rolling, when you're setting PRs, when you're seeing progress, that is not boring. That feels good. All right, here's the third thing. Always be in a cut or a mass. I think a lot of people's heard, and there's truth to this, most people's goal is not weight loss. It's fat loss. It's body recomposition. So people will say, oh, Doug, I'm currently in a body recomp. I want to gain muscle, but I want to burn fat too. No, 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 no. That may happen. That may happen sometimes as an added benefit, but that is never like a path you take. We are unapologetically cutting or we are unapologetically putting on muscle. And we are always setting a stretch goal for yourself because, and I'll get to this in a minute, but yeah, now let me just say this since it's on this slide. On top of that, you should be massing, putting on muscle at a ratio of 4-1. So for every 4 months you're massing, you earn 1 month to cut. Most guys do the opposite. I was the same way in my 20s. I missed a lot of primetime opportunity to make some progress. Most guys will bulk from September to February and cut the rest of the year, you, you're doing it backwards. And that's why when we cut, I want to help you make the most of it. And I'll say this: there's a time to do a primer phase, as I call them, which is my way. I like to do a maintenance phase, so it has more purpose. But this is my pet peeve, guys. When a guy tells me, and I'll be honest, it drives me more crazy if he's a Christian. When a guy tells me that, oh, Doug, I'm 42, so I'm just looking to maintain and be healthy, No, I don't know. I don't know. Did God create you to just do anything? I hate that word just. I hate that word just. Drives me insane. I'm just going to do this. I don't want to be a just person. I want to put my head on my pillow at night and be proud. I want to feel good about my day. And I we need priorities in our life. But with each of those priorities, I hope we're trying to make the most of it. I hope we're trying to do more than just maintain, because when people try to just maintain, normally they go backwards. They roll backwards. It happens all the time. Fourth thing, remove friction. Removing friction beats satisfying your preferences. Sometimes, people say, well, I would do that, but I don't like doing that. Okay. Do you like the current results you're getting? No. Maybe that's a sign you need to put your preferences down for a season. Try doing things this effective way, and it's probably effective because it removes some friction, removes some decisions in your life. And by removing that decision fatigue, it's going to make things easier for you. By making it easier, you're going to start snowballing some wins, getting results, and boom, next thing you know, it doesn't feel boring or you don't care about your preferences because you're really seeing some good progress. Uh, so I put eat the same thing every day. Have your gym clothes ready, laid out for you, so you're not digging through your drawers in the dark in the morning on the way to the gym. Have the coffee set or whatever you're going to drink before the gym. Just stop complicating things that should be simple. And here's the last one: stay hungry. Stay hungry. People get results doing crazy, stupid things sometimes just because they want it more than you, just because they're hungrier. And I don't want to ever go through the motions and not see results because I wasn't hungry enough, because I was just like, man, and we're all there. I'm not talking like I'm better than anybody or like that's never happened to me. That's absolutely happened to me. But just think about it. When's the last time you felt so dedicated and excited to achieve your goal that you literally couldn't stand it? You're sitting there like rocking, like crawling out of your skin, like thinking about last week I got 205 for 7 on bench press. This week I'm going to go for 210 for 5 or 6. Like you are absolutely dedicated and almost low key obsessed about seeing progress because you're excited about winning. You're excited about that. And it's not about fitness being, the most important thing in your life. But I believe having that enthusiasm can start playing into other areas of your life if you allow God to be Lord of your fitness right now. And sometimes that means you got to make yourself stop and think about other things. But be hungry.